Hey there, it's Trent, and I'm coming at you through Practice Makes Better Music, which is my lesson website. It's practicemakesbettermusic.com. You can visit the site to get a PDF of the chord sheets from this lesson, and you can see all the other lessons that I have available there. And you can sign up for the mailing list to be the first to find out about new exclusives that I'm releasing, new free content for email subscribers. In today's lesson, I'm going to go over altered dominant chords, and I'm going to cover them just from the key of E, but know that you can move shapes on the guitar anywhere that you want. It just helps if you know which note in the chord is the root note and you know the notes on your guitar so you can know which note you're playing or which chord you're playing. I'm showing this from the perspective of E just to show the voicings and to show how I practice these voicings. So I start with the dominant sharp 5, then the dominant flat 5, and then some sharp 9 voicings, and finally a little more out voicing, which is a triad, a tritone away from your root note over that root note. So it gives it a lot of tension. It has a flat 5, a flat 7, and a flat 9, but it's another way to add a really tense voicing to what is normally functioning as like a 5 chord in a key resolving to a major or minor chord. So in this video, I show the voicings with their inversions and how I practice them, and then I show ways of resolving them to A major or A minor. Half of the chords I'm resolving to A major, half of them to A minor, just to give a little bit of context for the different ways that these types of chords tend to resolve in music when you see them in music. So I'm going to jump right into the voicings. Again, the PDF is available at practicemakesbettermusic.com, and when you're there, sign up for the mailing list if you want to hear about exclusive content. Today, I'm going to focus on altered dominant chords. So that is any type of dominant 7 chord that has an altered 5th, or sometimes sharp 9, flat 9. These are the different things that can be altered, and a lot of these come out of a couple of different places, but one would be the altered scale, which played on one string goes like this: 1, flat 2, flat 3. The natural third, this is a flat 5, flat 6, flat 7, back to the 1. So that scale has as its natural chord would be a minor 7, flat 5. But it also, because it has the 4th note is lowered down to what is the major third, it also has a dominant 7 sharp 5 in it. It also has a dominant 7 flat 5. So those are some of the different altered dominant chords that I'm going to go over. Some of them also come out of the diminished scale, half whole diminished scale. So that would be 1, flat 2, flat 3, 3, sharp 4, 5, 6, flat 7, and 1. Some of the forms that come out of the diminished scale would be a 13, flat 9, or some of our sharp 9 voicings. So I'll go over some specific sharp 9 voicings in a minute, but I'm going to begin by moving through the inversions of an E7 sharp 5. From the E7 root position shape, I'm going to raise the 5th up a half step. And to do that, I'm going to switch my pinky and 3rd finger so that my 3rd finger covers the 4th fret on the 1st string and my pinky covers the 5th fret on the 3rd string. Now this is an E7 sharp 5. I'm going to show all of these chords with their chord that they can resolve to. For the first set of chords, I'm going to resolve to A major 7 in each inversion position. So coming from E7 sharp 5, play an A major 7 with the major 7 on top. Now I'm going to invert the E7 sharp 5 chord up to the next position. And to do that, I like to think about the dominant 7 shapes. So if I think about my regular E7 shape here, if I go up to the next inversion, I have this shape. So now, to make it a sharp 5, I just raise the 5th by a half step. And now I've got an E7 sharp 5 in first inversion. I'm going to resolve it to this, which is an A major 9. So E7 sharp 5 to A major 9. My next inversion, if I go from my E7 sharp 5 in first inversion, and I move my 5 back down to the natural 5th, and move up to the next inversion of the E7 chord, I have this shape where I'm barred at the 9th fret of the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th strings, and then I have my 2nd finger on the 10th fret of the 1st string. I'm also, in this case, going to raise my 5th by a half step to get the sharp 5, so that my 5th is on bottom here, so I'm going to raise that to the 10th fret, and I have 10, 9, 9, 10. That's my next inversion of the E7 sharp 5, with the sharp 5 on bottom, the E, the root note, the 3rd G sharp, and the flat 7D on top. I'm going to resolve this back to root position A major 7. 7th fret, 9th fret, 9th fret, 9th fret. So from here, so from second inversion, I'm going to go back down, lower my 5th back down to the natural 5th, and go up to the next inversion of E7, which is barred at the 12th fret of the 1st, 2nd, and 4th strings, 2nd finger on the 13th fret of the 3rd string. Here my 5th is on the 2nd string, so I'm going to raise that a half step to get my sharp 5 shape. And notice I can use 4 fingers by using my 1st and 2nd finger on the 4th string and the 1st string, and then using my other 2 fingers to play the 13th fret on the 2nd and 3rd strings, or what I more often will do is play it with 3 fingers, or sometimes 2 fingers. So this is a 3rd inversion E7 sharp 5. From here, I'm going to resolve it to a major 7 in first inversion. So from E7 sharp 5. From there, if I were to invert up again, I'd have the first position one more time. For practicing this, I'd start here, and I would go like this. From root position to first inversion, to second inversion, to third inversion, to root position, third inversion, second inversion, first inversion, root position, and then resolve it to A major 7. Alternatively, you can resolve in each position by itself. You could go E7 sharp 5, A major 7, E7 sharp 5 to A major 9, E7 sharp 5, A major 7, E7 sharp 5, The next form of the altered dominant chord that I'm going to cover is the dominant flat 5. This is just as it sounds, starting from the root position E7 shape. If you lower the 5th, which is on the 3rd string, down by half step, you have this shape, which you can play with 3 fingers by barring with your 2nd finger on the 2nd and 3rd strings, or you can play with 4 fingers. So the dominant 7 flat 5 chord is interesting because when you invert it, there's only 2 different shapes of the inversion. We have 1 flat 5 flat 7 3. Here's 3 flat 7 1 flat 5. Here's flat 5 1 3 flat 7. Here's flat 7 3 flat 5 1, and back. So to resolve these ones, I'm going to use the same A major voicings that I used for the sharp 5 chords. So from here, I'm going to resolve to A major 7, 2nd inversion. Then for the next one, I'm going to resolve to A major 9. For the next one, I'm going to resolve to A major 7 in root position. For the final one, I'm going to resolve to A major 7 first inversion. That's a really nice and easy resolution because these chord shapes are extremely similar. So if we're here, all we do to get to the A major 7 in first inversion is lower these 2 notes a half step. So from here, and to practice inverting them, I do it like this. The next set of chords is going to be based on E7 sharp 9. And I'm going to show some of the variations you can do to change each of these voicings into different altered dominants and move around the 5th and the 9 to make some of these different variations. To begin this section, I'm going to play E7 sharp 9. And this is the 1st through 4th string version of the same chord is usually the first sharp 9 chord that people learn, this one. So that's a sharp 9. The arrangement of these intervals is 1, 3, flat 7, and sharp 9 on top. So if I lower that sharp 9 a whole step by barring with my first finger here, that becomes an E7 flat 9. And in most cases, flat 9 and sharp 9 are interchangeable, especially if you're in a jazz setting or some other type of music like R&B that uses a lot of jazz harmony. The flat 9 and sharp 9 can both be used when there is an altered chord like this. Usually. So moving to the next, it's not an exact inversion of this chord because the inversions of this chord sound a little strange. I don't really use them. But the next chord up that is still the sharp 9 that I'm going to use is this one. In this position, I'm using these 3 notes putting the 5th on top here. And what I can do here is I can alter this in a number of ways. I could lower the sharp 9 to the flat 9. Now I have a fully diminished 7 chord on top of that E. Back to the sharp 9. I can make a flat 5 by barring. Sharp 9, flat 5. Sharp 9, sharp 5. 13, sharp 9. That chord is right out of the diminished scale, where you have all the natural 6 or the 13 and the sharp 9 and the flat 7 all in that scale. So those are all different variations you can do, and of course you can mix the flat 9 with any of the different sharp 5 flat 9, flat 5 flat 9, 13 flat 9. These are ugly chords, but sometimes when you resolve them nicely, they sound great. So the chord that I'm going to resolve all of these to is A minor 6 or some form of that. 6-9. So from E7 sharp 9 with that variable flat 9 there, I'm going to resolve it to this A minor 6. With the next one, with all my different variations, I'm going to resolve to this A minor 6-9. The next one I'm going to do is an interesting voicing for sharp 9. It's the flat 7 on bottom, the sharp 9 and the 3 a half step away from each other, so creating some tension there. Root note on top. This is another E7 sharp 9, and I can lower that sharp 9 to a flat 9 here. Then I'm going to resolve it to A minor 6, like this. Final voicing I'm going to show here is a 13 sharp 9 which is identical to what I played over here for the 13 sharp 9, just in the next inversion up, in the exact same shape, I mean. Tritonal way. We have flat 7, 3, 13, sharp 9. So in this position, we can make a lot of variations, like a sharp 5, sharp 9. That's a typical chord out of the altered scale, altered chord. You can flat the 9 with a sharp 5. We can flat the 9 with a natural 13. Flat 5, sharp 9, flat 5, flat 9. There's a lot of different variations to do with that one. But I'm going to resolve this one to the same A minor 6 chord that I started with down here, just up an octave. So going back through those, I have my E7 sharp 9 to an A minor 6. Another E7 sharp 9 to an A minor 6-9. E7 sharp 9. E7 13 sharp 9 to A minor 6. Practicing these chords, I would go like this. The last set of chords I'm going to show is pretty dissonant, but I think of it as a triad, a tritone away over the root note of the altered dominant chord that I'm trying to play. So in this case, I'm putting it over E. If I go a tritone away from E, a perfect fifth would be B, so a tritone is B flat. So if I put a B flat triad over E, the notes that I get are E, the 1, the flat 5, flat 7, and flat 9. So that is a very tense way to play a 5 chord. I'm going to resolve these also to A minor 6, just like the last voicings. When you're inverting any chord, as you may know, you just move each note of the chord up to the next chord tone. So my chord tones in this one are 1, flat 2, flat 5, and flat 7. So my 1 is going to go up to flat 2, my flat 5 is going to go up to flat 7, my flat 7 is going to go up to 1, my flat 9 or flat 2 is going to go up to B flat 5. So this shape is tricky to grab. I have the 3rd fret on the 4th string. With my first finger, I'm reaching all the way to the 7th fret of the 3rd string with my 4th finger, 5th fret of the 2nd string with my 2nd finger, and 6th fret of the 1st string with my 3rd finger. So coming from this one, it's a bit of a stretch, but we can resolve that to A minor 6, 9. Inversion up. It's a pretty interesting sounding chord. We have the flat 5, the root, the flat 9, and the flat 7. I'm at the 8th fret of the 4th string, the 9th fret of the 3rd string, the 6th fret of the 2nd string, and the 10th fret of the 1st string. This one's another stretch, but this feels more comfortable for my hands than the last one. If I want to resolve it, resolve to A minor 6 here. 7th fret 4th string, 9th fret 3rd string, 7th fret 2nd string, and 8th fret 1st string. So one up. It's an easier shape to play, thankfully. So this is 12th fret 4th string, 10th fret 3rd string, 11th fret 2nd string, and 12th fret 1st string. We can resolve it to here. The intervals here is the flat 7, flat 9, flat 5, and the root. Okay, so that's the lineup of chords for today's lesson. What I'm going to do now is put on a practice beat and show you how I would practice these. I'm only going to demonstrate them in whole notes, but when you practice these, try whole notes first, and you can slow down the tempo from where I'm doing it at if it's too fast, but try whole notes first, then maybe try dotted half notes, so 3 beats per chord at the same tempo. Then half notes, and if you're getting really comfortable, then you can try quarter notes, but that's how I tend to working up different chord voicings. So check it out. Okay, so I'm going to go through each of the chords that I went over in this lesson, and I'm going to practice through them in the inversions, up and down. I'm going to start at the root position, go all the way up to the root position again and back down. Then after I play that last one again, I'm going to resolve to this A major 7 chord. So starting from E7 sharp 5, playing whole notes, so 4 beats on each chord. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. Now A major 7. We're going to move to the E7 flat 5, whole notes. In 1, 2, 3, 4. Again. Major 7. Okay, now E7 sharp 9. Not going to do the variations, just doing the notes that are in solid, bold color. Black in the root note color. So here we go. Whole notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again. A minor 6. Okay, now we're going to go into the B flat over E, or an E7 flat 5, flat 9 with no third. Anyway, so starting at this shape. Resolving to an A minor 6 again. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. thank you for watching. I hope you got a lot out of this video. And I will have some more installments of this series coming up very soon. I'll be covering half diminished chords next, so stay tuned for that. If you want to hear about the new content that I'm creating, go ahead and visit practicemakesbettermusic.com and sign up for the mailing list, and I'll let you know when I have new content coming out. Thanks for tuning in, and have a great week.